Fed Chairman Ben Bernanke today delivering his semi-annual report card on the economy to the House Financial Services Committee, and then he faced grilling by its members. Two members of that committee join us now. Spencer Bachus is the ranking Republican member, and Democrat Gregory Meeks, a senior member of that committee. Gentlemen, welcome to both of you. Mr. Bachus, did you hear anything in the chairman's testimony today that surprised you?
No, one thing I heard is Chairman Bernanke said that the budget path is unsustainable. He said it's not sustainable. And he said there was a sense of urgency that Congress come up with a plan to reduce the deficits and the debt. We're going to double the debt over the next 5 years and triple it over the next 10 years, and that's simply not sustainable.
Congressman Meeks, same question for you. Was that the area that stood out to you?
No, I think that what he said was that the stimulus worked and is working, that we don't know where we would have been had we not had the stimulus. It is creating jobs, and the economy is starting to turn around, and we're moving in the right direction. Surely we have a balancing act. He said that we got to make sure that we don't have long-term deficit, and we will work on that. But, you know, $8 trillion of the deficit was created under the Bush administration. We're talking about $2 trillion of the deficit that was created under the Obama administration, but that $2 trillion helped create jobs that we were losing and hemorrhaging.
Yeah, of course,
at 800,000 a month.
Of course, the Bush administration was 8 years, and Obama's only 13 months. Congressman Bachus, you said that you were happy to hear Bernanke say we cannot continue on this budgetary path and that debt will double in 5 years. Are we just going to do it anyway, sir? Is there any turning back this train?
Well, we have to. He actually said that the consequences could come a lot sooner than we suspect. I would compare it to walking out on thin ice, and that's what the country's doing with our debt situation. And quite frankly, as Americans, I don't think we ought to care who created it or why. This Congress should address it, and there ought to be a sense of urgency. In fact, Chairman Bernanke said that if we would address it, that it would have immediate positive impacts on our economy and on our job picture.
But Congressman Bachus, is there any possibility that that will actually happen? We've seen, you know, such division on the Hill on so many issues, whether you're talking health care, whether you're talking financial regulation, whether you're talking energy policy. You know, the division is deep, the division is wide. Do you really think we're going to get agreement on how to take care of the deficit problem?
Well, Sue, I think we have to if we look at the consequences, and the consequences are something we shouldn't face. You know, aside from the argument that it's not fair to our children and our grandchildren, the chairman even said, look, the longer you postpone this, the harder it's going to be. And our spending is out of control.
So how does that get addressed, Congressman Meeks? I mean, everybody knows that it's a problem. We've heard it from both sides of the aisle. We've heard it from the president. We've heard it from the Fed chief. We've heard it from the Treasury secretary. How does it get solved?
Everyone agrees that we've got to make sure that we control long-term deficit. But what we have to do first is stop short-term pain so that we can have that long-term gain. And, you know, when you talk about the deficits that we're talking about now, it's deficits that were created, at least under the Obama administration, because of what he had inherited, and we have to fix it.
Wait, Congressman Meeks,
as we start moving, as we start seeing the economy turning around, and we start creating jobs, because that's the #1 thing that we have to do right now in America is create jobs, then we can look at the structure and stop the spending and make sure that we're now going back to savings so that we can get back to the surpluses that we have. And I think one of the things that the Obama administration is doing is making sure that the appropriations and what the budget is clear. You know, we had 2 unfunded wars that wasn't in there, and we're making sure that they're in there. So that's the way that we really get back to making sure we get back to surpluses.
Yes, sir. Congressman Bachus, I think if I heard this right, Congressman Meeks just said we have to eliminate the short-term pain to get the long-term gain. Isn't the opposite true, sir? Don't we have to endure short-term pain? We have to take this hit now so that we can get back to long-term gain.
No, I don't think we can afford short-term pain. I think by pain, I think we're avoiding the short-term pain. We're almost on a sugar high.
It's the avoiding that's getting us deeper into debt.
Had we did nothing, where would we be? Where would this economy be right now? Had we not had the stimulus, where would we be? So the money that we're talking about, the deficits, was the short-term pain. That's what I'm talking about.
But, okay, let me jump in and get a question for Congressman Bachus. Mr. Bernanke certainly said that the recovery is tepid at the very best. We've spent a tremendous amount of money to get, what, a tepid recovery?
Well, yeah, you know, we had an addiction. We had an addiction to easy credit. We had an addiction to government spending. And with any addiction, you've got to, sooner or later, you've got to withdraw. You've got to take that medicine away, and that is a problem. You're going to have withdrawal pains, but the sooner we face the music, the better. And we need to face the situation that we can't continue to spend like we're spending.
Gentlemen, thank you both very much.
Was from the Obama administration.
Final thought there. Say that again, Mr. Meeks.
You can't say the addiction was caused by the Obama administration.
Oh, no, I don't think he said that. I don't think he said that.
Sure. Okay.
I don't think he said that, and I'll bet you if we injected truth serum into both your veins, you would probably both say that the truth is that both parties have been addicted to spending historically. But that's my point, not yours. Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Up next.